What's going on, guys? This is Multicubing here, and welcome back once again to my 3x3 tutorial series. It's been a bit since I was on vacation, but we're back now, and this is going to be probably the final episode of this particular tutorial series, where I'm going to show you how to print it and a couple other optional things you can do if you want to do some more complex stuff with this base design. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to just show you how to get these parts so that you can put them in the software that allows your printer to use them. Now keep in mind, I'm teaching this as if you are printing this on an FDM printer. So anyway, we're just going to start, go ahead and start with the edge piece. So how you get these prepared for printing is you just go ahead and go File, Export CAD format, and this is Inventor. Either way, whatever you're using, you need to export it as a step file. Now, normally I would use STL, but recently I've learned that if you use a step file and you make changes to the main piece in Inventor later, you can still use the step file as something you can still mess around with, whereas an STL useless. You can't do anything with it unless you put it in software like Blender. Alright, so it turns out I was wrong about using step files. I just checked, and you can't actually use them in Cura. So go ahead and instead of exporting a step as you just saw me do for the edge, use STL. Step is good as a backup then, but you can't use it to print, at least not in this case. So just go ahead and do the same thing that you did there, just export everything as an STL. I'm not bothering with step because I'm probably not going to use this again unless it happens to turn out surprisingly well. But otherwise probably not. And that's it. There we go. Now we have them all exported as STLs. Now we're going to go into Cura, and we're just going to open all of these. There. So here's all the pieces. We have all the pieces loaded into Cura. And what you need to do now, this is the optimal way that I found to print these pieces for strength and for quality. So you got to rotate this 90 degrees so that the turning surface is on the top, and that will give that area the highest quality possible. Same thing goes with the center cap. You want the area that goes into the center to have the better quality so it actually fits properly. The edge should be fine just like that. There's nothing wrong with the default positioning for this. And then for the corner, I turn it this way 45 degrees like so, and then this way 30 degrees. And in this case, it's hard to get it to be perfectly aligned. But basically this makes the stock, well, not the stock, the connection point in this case, perpendicular to the ground, and that makes it strongest. And then I'm just going to rotate it 180 so that the flat, longer side is closer to the ground so that the supports work better. I'm just going to go ahead and have it auto-arrange everything, and that should be good. Because I can see that it's not quite perfect, I'm going to undo snap rotation and just lift this up a little bit. You don't have to do this. It should be fine if you don't, but I like to do it anyway just to be sure. Now I'm going to go ahead and change it to layer view. And then to get it to, it's sometimes finicky with the slicing, so you can just mess around with one of the settings and then it should usually update. There we go. And you'll make sure you have supports on and you have brim on to help the pieces stick. So the final step is to, however you do it, I use an SD card. You take these and you save them. I'll just save them into the folder as an example, into the folder where everything else is. And we're going to go ahead and save them as a G-code. We're going to save this as a G-code file, CFP_test, or you can just save it as test. You have to make sure, I mean, some printers can use STLs and things like that, but I use G-code with mine. You have to make sure you find out what your printer specifications are to do this correctly. And that's it. You just hit save, and then you put it in your printer, and you're ready to go. So that's out of the way, and yes, I will make this cube and late in the future, and I will upload a video on it to show you its performance. So now I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do to help make your cube function a bit better if you're willing to do a couple of things that are a bit more advanced. So the first thing is you can go back to your initial solid And you can change this however you like, but I'm just gonna not keep all the features that this creates. I'm just gonna show you how to make a proper corner stock, because the way this corner just comes to a point isn't very nice. So what you want to do is get a center point arc and put it near the bottom, like that. And then just put a line going from here to this point. And then all you want to do after that is trim this, make this 35 degrees. That will make the corner stock perfectly straight. Make sure that the arc is constrained to this. And then just say how tall you want that to be. So I'm going to say 2. Just keep it nice and small. Making sure that you keep this straight. Oh, you can't do that. And just to make sure that things don't get misaligned, I'm going to make this here a work line. And then make sure that this is in line with that. Now I can only change that, which shouldn't even be possible because it's a center point arc. So I'm going to redo that like this. There, it didn't meet. It should not be a work line. There we go. Okay, so can it move anywhere? No, but this can. Center point arcs in Inventor are finicky, so you always need to make sure that things are always constrained. Otherwise you'll have problems. So that should be it for that. So we have the sketch done. Obviously it's going to be nice and give us some lovely errors. This is not making a whole lot of sense. I'm going to just fix all this. If you get these errors, don't worry. You can just easily fix it by doing this. Let's see if that broke everything or not. Oh, looks like we're good. Okay, awesome. So as you can see, after all that fixing, we now have a protrusion coming out of the centerpiece and a stock from the corner, and the same deal with the edge. Now, you don't actually need to keep this protrusion on the center or on the edge. So what I'm going to do is you can keep them and you can do fillet them and all that. You would use a gradual fillet on the centerpiece, and you would do a bunch of filleting on this as well, on the edge. But in this case, I'm going to just get rid of it, and if you want to try that and figure it out yourself, go for it. But in this tutorial, I'm not going to be showing you how to do that. So, here's how you got to get rid of them. All you got to do is use delete face on these 4. Check heel. That'll just flatten that out. Then make a new plane by clicking these 3 points, like so. And then use replace face up here to take this face and then replace it with that plane you just made. So now it'll be flat again. And then what you need to do is do the exact same thing again. Here, here, and here. Replace face. Boom. Boom. And you're done. And then after that, you just want to select all of these and move them above everything you did beforehand. And then unsuppress them. As you saw, I suppressed this stuff before. And then everything should work out just fine. There we go. And I'm just going to make these work planes invisible because they look ugly. And there we go. We have our edge done. Good. Next, we'll move on to the center and just get rid of this annoying ridge thing. So we're just going to go ahead and suppress everything. So we on delete face. Just select these 5 faces and check heel, and then just move it above everything else and unsuppress them. And once again, no issues. Done. Just make sure everything else is up to date and save everything. And then we'll move on to the corner where it's just a little bit easier actually. So now we have our corner and we have this stock here. Now apparently our first fillet has actually decided to stop working, so I'm just going to go ahead and add in that fillet that we did before again, and make it all G2 fillets, because apparently I forgot to do that last time. And there we go, so that's all good. Now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just fillet the stock, go into fillet 2, and go ahead and round it off quite all nicely like this. There we go. Let's try rounding it by 1 millimeter. Okay, that's fairly round, but I'd like it to be a bit more so. So that's nice. And we'll round this surface by, yeah, that's good. 1 millimeter looks nice. So there we go, we're just gonna save that. And then everything else is good. So that's it. That's all you need to do to make a corner stock. And then you can just go ahead and use this with everything else you already had done. For those of you who also did this part, you can just go ahead and replace your old corner. And that should be everything. You're now ready to print this 3x3. So yeah, go ahead and keep an eye out for that video where I test the cube. Anyway, that's it for this tutorial. If you stuck through the whole thing, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. And let me know if you found this, if you enjoyed this and found it helpful. Anyway, if you did find this informative and did enjoy it, then please leave a like and subscribe to see the final result of this tutorial and the final product and how good it is. Anyway, I'm Multicubing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.